My name is Janette Collins from the Crib, or Janette Collins MBE now, which I was really proud of. I just started to sit and talk about what this whole pandemic and the effects that it's having on us as a community, as a Crib community, and myself and staff members. I don't know even where to start when I think about the pandemic, because when we thought we was out of it, and the next minute, then a tier 4 came along. But let's just talk about the first tier first. When we first had the first tier, the first part of the pandemic, and it came on, everyone was locked away for 2 weeks. It was quite hard for people to stay in. And then that's when we realized that people are staying in, and there's people that are indoors that haven't got the means and the ability to be able to go out and access the shops, go shopping, and basically look after themselves. Yeah, because even though we talk about shopping, there's other little bits and pieces like going and get the electric, the gas, the rent, and the fear of coming out on the street is keeping them indoors. So what we did as an organisation, because we had to furlough. So what is an organisation? We linked ourselves up with the Devolver Association, who decided to set up a food bank. So we volunteered our services to the Devolver Association, and what we did, we went around and knocked at doors. So we knocked at all the doors in Devolver. I'm going to a lot of doors. We knocked at loads of doors in Devolver and found quite a lot of vulnerable people that were there that were sitting indoors and frightened to go out. We offered them if would they like us to go and do shopping for them. We got some of the young people at the time after we came out of the 2-week lockdown. We got some of the young people to come and help us and knock at the doors. Then went to the food bank, got their names, addresses, and took the food and then delivered food to their homes. But during this, obviously, then the demand became more and more and more. So our organisation put in for funding, for the disproportionate funding, funding anyway from the government to actually go and buy food and deliver food. So we started doing that as well. And then we realised that people needed electric and gas. So another part of the funding stream, right, was to get electric and gas and amenities to people as well, like credit for their phone, gas, like £25 electric, £25 gas, because without gas and electric, you can't cook your food. And you can't watch till you ain't got no internet. So you're in more dire straits. So we did a lot of that. We actually serviced about 150 people. Then another organisation came along and they said to us, they came along, they named the Children's Voices, and they asked us if they could use our premises. Where we said, yeah, of course you can, because the premises is closed, because we're furloughed. So we said, yeah, of course you can. So then they set up a food hub from out of the Crib. So during the worst part of the lockdown, before they decided to reopen again, right, we had the Children's Voices running the food bank out of there. They ran the food bank for about 2 months out there. Then in the end, we decided that we're going to open back up, because when we went down to tier 2, so you could open back up youth clubs and do all the stuff that you can do and have young people in. So we decided to open back up and then do some small bits of work. You know what I mean, for a couple of hours a day. You know what I mean, just do little small bits and pieces. And we decided to set up a study buddy program. The study buddy program was helping parents whose children, they find it very difficult to do homeschooling with their children. So we did the study buddy program, so that you get about 3 children in or 4, and then we got volunteers volunteer teachers. They came down and ran the study buddy program. And we just set the whole process up. So that went really, really well actually for a couple of weeks. And remember, then they opened the schools back up. Before they opened the schools back up, we decided to have a summer program. So the summer program, like I said, because we're only working part bits and pieces, so we can only do it like 2 days a week. Like usually we do it like the whole 6 weeks. Because of the whole furlough system, we can only do a small amount of work. So we've done the summer program, only run for a couple of hours a day, which we had, oh my God, it was like families. Rather than do a summer scheme just for children, we did a summer scheme for the families. So the family would come to the summer scheme, the family would go on a trip. So it's basically a summer scheme for families rather than like young people's summer scheme, which is really, really good because it made their parents went to the seaside and like just like a bonding exercise really for parents and families. So things started to go a little bit better. We had our dance group back in. So things started to come, like roll along, and everyone's thinking it's going to get back to normal. So it's going to get back to normal. Then, obviously, each time you're looking at the restrictions, and the restrictions is getting further and further away. Like you're going to open in May. No, you're going to open in June. I'm talking about 2019. You're going to open in July. No, you're going to open in. So the months are crawling in, and you're still not clear about what you're doing. So the parents are not clear about the service that you're offering them, which you can't offer them a full service because of the fact of the furlough as well. And so this is becoming more and more and more difficult. And what we found as well, like we found mental health, oh my God, went through the roof. Literally was sky high. We had two people, right, that had been sectioned during the lockdown. You had children that didn't want to live at home during the lockdown. They wanted to get away from their parents. You had people phoning up and crying. And to be honest with you, I had a meltdown a couple of weeks ago myself. You know what I mean? And that was a meltdown to a stranger. I started bawling my eyes out all over the place. So I can understand how they feel. Do you know what I mean? Like you're in your house, you're uncertain about your job. And this is people that you're working with, right? They're uncertain about their job. We're uncertain about our funding. So we're all going through exactly the same cycle of pressure. We're all in this big melting pot. But no matter what colour, creed, nationality, sexuality, rich, poor, no matter who you are, we have all been brought down to one line. We are all exactly the same. We all can't work, but we've got to work from home if you can work, right? You're suffering from mental health sitting in your house every single day of the week. You're sitting in your house. You've lost your job, but you're furloughed. You've got to go and get money from the department, the DWP, where you've never had to go before. So now you're getting funding money from the DWP, which there's a smidgen of your wages. Then you've got to sort out your rent, your gas, your electric, right? And if you're a family, the help that you'll get will be quicker if you're a family from the DWP than what you do if you're a single person. If you're a single person living in private accommodation and now you're out of work, what happened to a lot of our young people that were working in the restaurant industry, where they shut down, at first they furloughed them, then in the end, the last one in met the first one out. So a lot of them got laid off, and then now you've got to go to the DWP and try and get into this whole system and prove your needs. And yet before, you're living in a flat with like 500 people. Now the landlord is saying to you, well, I want my rent, but there's only 2 of you that can still afford to pay rent. So in the end, but afford to pay their portion of the rent. So in the end, everyone gets evicted. So everyone's looking for a new place to live. So you've got this big transit population of young people that don't know where they're at or where they're going to go. So you've got young people that are, even students that are phoning you up, crying on the phone and saying, I don't know what to do. I've got to come out of my flat. What we suggest to a lot of our young people that was at uni to go back home. Tell them to go back home with their family and then work from home. They'll study from home rather than stay on campus and that until the whole pandemic issue is over. Because don't forget, they're renting the halls. They haven't got money to, because their money, how they pay for their rent is by working. A lot of these kids, they pay for their rent by going to work, getting a job, and then the job's going to subsidise the rent. And when they're paying their rent, they're paying, like, say that the rent is £100, they're paying £25 because they've got another 4 or 5 people living with them in the flat. You see, so we had a lot of that going on. What I found, there was an upside to it all. It weren't just down, down, down. The upside to the whole pandemic, in my eyes, is that working on the estate where we work in Devover, we don't just work in Devover, but that's where our organisation is based in Devover. You found that the people came together. You found that people, no matter, like I said to you, rich, poor, no matter what, people not poor. To me, you could not have no money, but you're still rich within yourself, yeah. But someone with less income, then you had people with a high income. Everyone came together, and people were donating. You've got people that on benefit that benefits themselves, donating to people that are on benefits and helping people that are on benefits. So it was like everybody just came together, and it's still happening now, and everybody is like rowing the boat together. So we're all trying to get to the same place, the same point. That's what I have to tell and say. And to me, that's what gives you hope. Like I said to you, I had the breakdown the other day when I was trying to write a bid. I was trying to do the bid, and everything was going wrong, and my whole staff has come down with COVID. They're getting a bit better now, but at the time, the whole staff, the finance person, everybody, even the directors had COVID. There's only one that didn't, but even directors had COVID. We don't all live near each other either, so that was really bizarre. But they all had COVID, and so when I was trying to do it, I was like, oh my God, there's a guy comes like, there's something wrong with the system, there's something wrong with the system, please help me. I was like, oh my God, he's going to calm down, calm down. I couldn't help it. I thought, I don't care. At that moment in time, I was like a blubbering baby. Literally, I was like, oh, snot. I was like, ah! Breakdown, full breakdown. And then it so happened that my I think it's my sister phoned from America. After, I was like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But it's everything that someone was saying to me. Like my son Darren, he's caring for my mum, and he turned around and she said that, oh, Nanny woke up and she couldn't find the toilet. She's going, Mummy, Mummy. I just broke down and started blubbering. So obviously everyone's feeling it, because the things that I'm doing now, it's not like the everyday things I usually do. Like when I had the COVID, oh my God, I just thought I was going to die. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. I've lost quite a few people. I thought, I'm next, I'm going to die. So I started panicking, right? And then in the end, I just thought, you know, stay still, because something's saying to you, you have to stay still. And stay still, go through this and start thinking about what you're going to do next. So our next move, as we come up to it now, and hopefully, God willing, by Easter, everything should be kind of not normalized. We're still going out and delivering food. We're still taking calls from people, and people are phoning us up. We're doing Zoom meetings and that stuff as well. We're still doing Zoom meetings. I think you have to keep people's morales up. But what we're going to do, we're going to try and not turn the project all online, but obviously we're going to have to like balance. Like once if the climate changes and says, oh, another lockdown or tier 5, I hope not, but you know what I mean, another lockdown, then we're gonna have to have systems in place to turn around and adapt to that new system. But what we're trying to do, we're going to do study buddy, because in a lot of young people, if you think a child that was in year 7 last year, first started secondary school, only had about 2 months at school in their secondary school life. So really, year 8s this year are really year 7s. If you understand, you know what I mean, the method in what I'm trying to say. But it's year 7s, and the year 6, right? Like my granddaughter Lily May, she's year 6. It's going to go in secondary school. She didn't really do no year 6. No, year 5. She's just been thrown straight into year 6. So most children are back a year, or more than a year actually, when you think about it. Because even now, you think about it now, by the time we go back, we're talking after Easter, then you've got Easter, April, May, June, July, 3 months back. And then boom, they're going to be in year 9. And they haven't really done year 7 and 8. And you can't keep, personally myself, I think they should have kept all the kids back a year. That'd be my personal view on it all. If I was, you know, an education person, I'd push them all back, because what you're going to get, you're getting children that are doing it and are struggling. That's why they're crying at home and don't want to be at home, because they're struggling. Children like to learn in a class environment. This environment's been thrown at them, right? So they'll get up, they want to get dressed, they'll just, because I had my granddaughter the other day, and she just got up, just sat in front of the computer and just started her work, right? And in the end, I said to her, like, come and get in the bath and do something. She said, no, I can't be bothered, right? And that's what you'll find. A lot of kids can't be bothered. If you go out, so you don't really see much children up and down the street. It's like they've really had enough. And it's how are we going to turn this all around for young people when we actually finally come out of lockdown? How are we going to catch up on education? Because some people can't afford to have tutors. hence the reason why we're trying to do this study buddy and getting out teachers that are retired teachers and get mentors to go around and help them. We like to make them catch up on their work. Because parents, when you're on your children all day long, you can't do that. It's quite difficult to do that. Then we're going to be doing, we're still doing our police and young people workshop to trying to get that online as well and try and see how that works online. This year we couldn't do our Boroughs United, our talent show. We was quite sad about that. And before we heard about tier 4, we was going to do it online. But then once the tier 4 set in, then the dance groups, the small groups, dance groups that were practicing, usually get about 10 on the stage or 15. No, they were smaller groups, right? And they just couldn't practice. They said they can't do it. Now there's a tier 4, they cannot do it at all. So we thought, well, the singers could still sing, but it wouldn't make the show without the dancers, because the dancers, it's all about talent. So we decided, and then collectively, the young people decided not to do it. So what we're going to do this year with Boroughs United, we're going to just put like the show clippets of the winners, over the 20 years, and just make it into a nice little show that way, and still acknowledge, because don't forget, it's Boroughs United is about the people that we've lost. It's an anti-violence campaign, Boroughs United. Hence the reason why it's called Boroughs United. So we're going to still do a memorial for the young people that we've lost. During the period of 2019, February, to this 2021. Sorry, 2020 to 2021 February this year. But that's how we do it a period like that. And we're still doing our parent stuff. The parent stuff is really picking up online, which has gone really, really well. That's really good. But it's like I said, it's the funding. The funding side of it's really, really hard, because during the whole lockdown, the funding was for COVID. A lot of the funding was going around COVID, supporting people and helping people. So when you put in the funding, you weren't putting staffing costs, you were just putting in just for the support. We just put in just for the support. Okay, everything you did, as far as I was concerned, that you did it voluntary, because there's a time where you just needed people just to work, but just to work and help others, basically. And so that side of it's really, really, really hard, the funding side of it. So we're just in the process at the moment trying to pick ourselves up and get funding. What I did forget to add was that we're opening up our project during the day to families to have a play day. So what we're doing, we're getting like a list, like for people to come and sign up and say what times they want to go in for a play day, and they can have that to the PlayStation, table tennis, arts and crafts, bar football. We haven't got a proper kitchen, but we've got microwaves. They can have snacks. They can have a couple of hours there. So obviously, a lot of parents are doing homeschooling, so it'd have to happen after homeschooling finishes, and that's for everybody. Because I saw around where I live, it's quite an affluent area, and I saw the neighbours coming out with their children, and they're people that can homeschool, right? And they've got the resources to homeschool, but the same kind of pressures that people have without their nanny and without all the other little resources, the same pressures that they have when they're indoors with their children. And don't forget, we're not used to being at home. People at work want to work. They want to work. They're career-driven people. They want to work. And all of a sudden now you're at home, and all that drive that you've got to concentrate on your child. You've got to concentrate on them, teaching them. The child's thinking, well, get lost, you're not my teacher. My teacher teaches me this. My teacher wouldn't say it like this. My teacher would do this. My teacher would do that. You're doing it wrong. So then the parent's getting all stressed out. The child's getting stressed out. So we're deciding to open the project up and have like a play day for parents. We've done it a couple of times already, and it's been working really, really well. And it's nice for them as well, because you get people that live in tower blocks. You get people that live in temporary accommodation, because where our project is, we've got a large transit community around there, temporary accommodation community around there. So it works for them. It really, really works. And like I said, change is going to come. That's all we can do. Well, I have faith. Because look, I did get the MBE. Look at it that way. Who gets an MBE in lockdown? Come on. So that to me was a big bonus. Was really, really. It made me feel great. I feel fantastic actually that the young people that I've worked with actually put me forward, and this is where we are. We've got the MBE now. Well, not me, the project has got the MBE, and the young people have got the MBE as far as I'm concerned. So we're here with that. But like I said, it's just the funding side of it. I know things are going to work out. I have faith. You just have to have faith and realise that, like our Enough is Enough campaign says, as a community, we can create change. And as long as we all stick together and work, like I said, row at the same time as each other, we're going to get out of this, and we're all going to have fun, and we're all going to be in a happier state of mind, apart from the road closures